Hello, good evening. And today we'll be talking about who a leader truly is. A leader is that person who gets the work done. Leader is that person who can fix the problem. Many a times we tend to define leadership in many words, and these may not really be clear. Now, scattered around are problems that need to be solved, and there are technocrafts that can make this possible. These technocrafts are called leaders. And the primary goal of everything is always very, very essential. Every human being created to the planet Earth was created to solve a problem, a unique problem. And when it comes to leadership, you can't define leadership outside problem solving. Yeah, because if you've gone through other of my series, you will remember that I mentioned that when it comes to human being, the goal of a human being is to have dominion. And the dominion is not just to waste it about, or it's not just to oppress other creature, is to make sure it lead other creature. The dominion capacity or dominion ability that was given to man was for man to be able to lead other creatures. Now, whenever this right is being abused, is no longer leadership. You know that means it's an abuse of dominion. That's why dominion can only be expressed rightly when the person having the dominion use it to the purpose at which it was given. And the reason why man has such an ability, such strength, is because man has a goal to lead, yeah, to direct. Now, there are a lot of issues around social issues, spiritual issues, mental issues, financial issues. And the goal of a leader is to be able to direct or give solution to all these issues, because these issues are unique to themselves, and God had positioned every human being to a kind of a to be a problem solver to a specific sector. Just as mentioned already, we have a lot of sectors. We have the financial sector, we have the educational sector. You know, these individuals that are being set up to be leaders, that are human beings like you and I, we are sent to that organization to make impact, not just a kind of impact that will result to an applaud. No, it's a kind of impact that will result to an improvement to mankind. Whenever there is an improvement to mankind, leadership is working. Now that means you measure your leadership capacity with the kind of improvement you have brought to a particular sector. Some persons will be in a sector for 1, 2, 3, 5 years and nothing changes. Now they are not really leaders, no matter what they have done. Your leadership capacity is measured by the kind of positive change that you bring to a sphere that you are being launched into. Every human being is being launched to sectors, to communities, so that he or she will be able to bring change to that community. Now, whenever this change is not brought, your presence is not fed, because the presence of every human being is supposed to be fed wherever he or she is. And how is this present fed? By positive change. And the world is already in chaos. The world is already facing a lot of crisis. I remember back then in my 200 level as an undergraduate, we were taught peace and conflict. And they told us rightly that you can't use conflict to solve conflict. You only use peace to solve conflict, no matter the situation. As far as it's conflict, you have to introduce peace to it. Now, humanity was sent to Mother Earth as a peace to resolve the conflict already present. That is why whenever you see a lot of things happening, it's not that those things are new. Those things are there because you are there. You are sent to save the situation, not because those things are there to kill or destroy you. That is the basics of leadership. That's why when you find yourself in a particular place, don't take it that, why are people fighting me? Why is it like this? Why is it not? No, you are just there solely to solve that problem. That's why instead of complaining, you have to launch in your abilities that is installed in you. God have installed a lot of strength, a lot of ability within you, so that you can be able to solve that problem. If only you can stop complaining and look at the brighter sides of the coin. When you have a coin, you always have a head and you have a tail. And most of the times we concentrate basically on the tail, forgetting that there is a head in a coin. And God placing you in that community, God placing you in that geographical area is for you to solve a problem. Stop complaining, because leaders don't complain. Yeah, they give solution to a problem. They resolve issues. That is why I am welcoming you to a leadership series whereby you stop complaining and start acting. It's not just about putting it down into writing, it's about acting it. It's about taking a step. Now, you may be in academic sector, a lot is happening there. These things are not done basically by human. Most of them are supernatural infiltration. They are supernatural infiltration that you can actually resolve, because God created us in his own image and likeness, Genesis chapter 1. And that means you have such great capacity as a human being, to influence change, to deposit change in a place. That is why you are not less of a human, truly. You are not less of a human. You are stronger than what you can ever think of. But you have to activate it by, taking responsibility. Right, yeah. You have to activate it by taking responsibility. You have to activate it by making sure that everything you do counts.